If you go on a search engine and then go to images, type in world religions or religions of the world, and there's many posters. A lot of them will show you the 12 largest religions of the world. There's 5 majors, and then there's 12 big enough to be on the map. What my suggestion is 2 things, and I would encourage you to see if you can get your parents on both sides to follow this suggestion. See, if you're going to teach my children about your religion, always preface everything you say with as if. It's as if Krishna had 10,000 wives. It's as if Ganesh, ... It's as if Arjuna had to kill his family members in a war. Because if you don't use the words as if, you literalize a myth. And that's when the danger begins. And that's what causes the programming that leads to the struggle when you find that life doesn't actually play out that way. And then the other exercise is sit down with your kids once in a while and just say, what did grandma tell you about God? Or grandpa, or whatever. And then take out that map of world religion and say, yes, that's very in line with Hinduism. Look, here it is on the map. But look at all these other approaches. What do you think maybe they would say about God? And if there's only one God expressing itself in these 12 different ways, what's something unique and special about each of them that might be helpful to us to know? One of the problems with Judaism and Christianity is it produced the idea that we are God's favorites and everybody else is wrong. But everybody else is also God. They forgot that while they were killing them. You see what I'm trying to show you is by having a map of the world religions and getting maybe a basic book on world religion, like Houston Smith's book on world religion covers the 5 majors. But just even if you used AI to give you a synthesis of each of the religion, just search it. Say, what is the key principles of Sikhism? What is the key principles of Taoism? What is the key principles of Shinto? What is the key principles of Baha'i? What is the key principles of Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism? Then, whenever they say something from one camp, you say, let's look at what other ways God is perceived. And so that way the kids get a well-rounded viewpoint. So the beauty of it is grandma and grandpa can program all they want, but mom and dad show them the other side of the coin. And whenever they come up to you with, if I don't do this, this is going to happen. Judgment or karma or whatever. You say, yeah, that's one idea. How about, there's 2 billion people right over there that don't believe that. And that doesn't happen to them. So show them which one of these is the most empowering to you, which gives you the most freedom and helps you feel most centered in your heart. Because if the God you love is scary, you're never really going to want to meet that God. And so your religion will never get you to where religion's supposed to get you, which is to love God. So if the orientation is, how do I love myself in the arms of a God that can love me and make me feel safe, that's a healthy relationship with God. So if you use grandma and grandpa's on either side's dictations and turn them into connotations, if you take the literal and turn it into a beautiful mythology, and as if, then your kids will grow up with 360 degrees of vision and will become who they came to be instead of who they think they have to be to make mommy, daddy, grandma, and grandpa happy. I mean, the suggestions I gave you are how I would go about it, how I encourage people to go about it. But really, if your religion isn't producing love, acceptance for all, community, connection, hope, faith, then you're in the wrong house. The one thing I would encourage you and your wife to do is say there's a rule if you're going to interact with our children. You must not scare them. Do not tell them if you don't do this, God's going to do that to you. It either has to be inspirational or it's unhealthy. You understand? Because once you scare children, you put a deep groove into the psyche, and that's how programming is most dangerous. If you couple fear with dictation, you've got brainwashing. And always tell them, remember, one of these days my children are going to be smart enough to look right at you and say, and how is that working for you, Grandma and Grandpa? Are you happy? Or is it something you do because you're afraid of God? I understand the challenge of it. In my career, I've had to be a therapist for many children that were completely and utterly sickened because of religious dictates and programming, and that's why I had to get involved. The parents didn't know why the kid couldn't eat anymore, or had an eating disorder, or had headaches all the time, or couldn't, always tired all the time, and couldn't get involved in school. And every single one of them was in a Catholic school. It was the same shit every time.